What's up, everyone? Today I'm joined by Underoath. Thank you, Spencer, for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
First question, have you been to the gym yet, and where did you go?
Today, no. So we just got here a few days ago, and we kind of haven't settled into the schedule yet.
Right.
So my first flight was canceled.
Oh.
Then I got held up somewhere for 5 hours. Then I finally got here. It was like a 24-hour day. And then when we got here, I was the last one. So we had a rehearsal day. I get there and our tour manager was like, hey, glad you made it. A little bit of bad news. The bus blew up. So
well, things happen.
We played Rock am Ring and Rock am Park, and we spent the first 2 days in like the Sprinter vans that picked us up from the airport and like last minute hotels with longer drives. So we were like, the bus showed up 2 days ago, so we're like about to fall into place here, I think. So
okay, just
I've been playing catch up on sleep. So
yeah, I got you.
Not yet. Normally I'm a gym 5 days, 6 days a week kind of guy. It just keeps my mind right,
Mm-hmm.
But it's been like a couple days of like I just need to figure out where I can sleep. So here we are.
And what time of day it is, and
I have no idea.
Oriented in space. Yeah, I feel that. So you've had a day off yesterday, right?
Yes.
Thankfully, after all this bus
nightmare. After the travel and the bus stuff,
Mm.
It was nice to have a day.
Right. And I was really pleased to see that Aaron and you actually went to see, was it the Smile?
Yeah.
Was it Tom
York
York's
from
band?
Radiohead's and Johnny
Side
Greenwood's
project.
like other project. Yeah.
That's really cool. You know what I love about that is that, so I guess like most musicians who are full-time, touring and doing this, they're glad to have a day off and like not listen to music and not listen to their own or anybody else's music. But
yeah,
I guess you guys are just such
well,
music fans that you're actually able to enjoy it.
Yeah,
still.
I like to watch other bands perform. I can see where it can get to that point on a longer tour where you're like, oh, I just need a day away from music. But something like that, like you can't pass up that opportunity. We just happened to have a day off where they were playing, and like I've seen Radiohead probably 15 times or something. So probably the band I've seen the most outside of bands that I tour with, that you're obviously seeing every day. That doesn't count. But like bands that I've actually gone out of my way to go see, and I've never seen The Smile. And me and my lady were talking about we have like a list of a shared note where we like write down the bands we want to see over the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And The Smile is the first one on there. And we're supposed to go together, and I was like, they're playing down the road, it's a day off. So no, she was pumped that I got to see it, but we were supposed to go together. Sometimes,
but that was meant to be.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, they put on a great show, and I'm so glad that I've seen it. I'll see them again for sure.
Cool. Glad to hear. After playing these festivals, I'm impressed with your stamina, Spencer. Just gotta say. And I heard that you finished recording, mixing, mastering the new album. Is that right?
It's almost mixed and mastered. We're on our final mixes right now. I actually
final stretch.
While y'all were setting on the camera, that's the text I was reading. So got a new recall today. So that's what I'll be doing after this interview is approving or sending in final notes for mixes.
Right.
It's funny because we're like heading out on this 20-year stuff. Like we've been a band for 20 years and we're celebrating that, and that's fun. That's all fun and all, but it's really hard not only to play a record you wrote when you were a teenager, but knowing that what we have in our back pocket is the best stuff we've done ever. I haven't felt this way since we made Define the Great Line. I've been saying that a lot, and people mistake that for me saying, oh, it sounds like Define the Great Line. Well, it's actually just like the feel. Like I'm proud of every record we've made, and I stand behind everything we've done. And you evolve as a human, just so your music evolves and you change, and your music changes. It's part of being a human. But I haven't. When we made Define the Great Line, like something special, it felt special. Like we did something, and I felt that way for the first time since then. Just now, like we were all having fun, we were all firing on all the cylinders, we were pushing the envelope, and we were excited. And we were happy about all the music we were hearing back, and that it just, something happened this time that I don't think has happened in a long time, and I'm thankful to be able to celebrate 20 years. I'm not saying I'm ungrateful, but I'm more super excited about what comes next that nobody even knows is coming. So it's exciting.
It's also kind of cheeky that you're like out there performing that and you have that in the back pocket. Like,
yeah,
you don't even know.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming. Have you self-produced it, or are you allowed to
no,
say?
our friend Danon, he produced it. It's his first time producing with us. Me and Aaron had both worked with him prior in just the vibe. So we were in a room together, the three of us, and we like worked on a song that could be an Underoath idea. And I remember just being there. I was like, God, this would be sick if the guys could feel this energy again. Because it reminded me of when we were younger. Because when you were younger, when you find the right kind of producer that's pushing the band in the right way, not trying to do stuff for you, but elevating the experience and elevating the songwriting, because it's like, that's not good enough, or we could do better, or let's rethink this, or this is awesome, like let's go that way, like that kind of. And we haven't had that in a long time. So I think Danon being in the room and producing this record, after we self-produced the last one, I think we're overthinkers, and we're
I got that from watching your stuff.
So we overthink a lot of the magic out of it sometimes, where you like, if you're in control of it, you can keep opening it up and editing and editing and editing and changing and re-recording, and at some point, like, you've lost the feeling, because now you're focused on the part and re-performing this vocal or this guitar part or whatever. But something about when you get it right the first time and it's just it and it's honest, and like I don't like losing that. So when we're not self-producing and someone like Danon can capture that, who's running the computer, we're not running the computer, we're not running the session, we're just being the band, and we haven't been able to do that in a while, which was great, because he could capture the moment. And I think that's how you win.
That's a great point. Like, sometimes you need someone to tell you, like, stop.
Yeah,
it's done.
Totally.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, music's never done until it comes out. You know.
Yeah.
And you can seriously just keep editing and keep changing and keep editing. And nowadays with the tools that we have, like, it's really easy to make everything perfect. And I don't like that. I mean, Underoath's always kind of been a band that was better on stage than we were on the record, because there was some energy and like kind of violence and rawness to it. And nowadays it's really easy to perfect everything, and it's almost like computerized.
Yeah.
Like, and I hear that a lot in heavy music. So it's finding the fine line of like getting it right and playing it right and performing it right with the honesty, but also like the energy and the natural feel to it. Because we can computerize ourselves, all of these musicians, we can computerize ourselves to death, to where it's like kind of sucks the life out of it.
Yeah.
Quite literally, because it's a computer fixing shit and putting it on the grid and fine-tuning everything to where it does sound like $1 million, but it's like, but how much human is there?
Yeah, where's the soul? I'm glad you're saying that, because in heavy music especially, there's that trend now for, I feel like back in the day, it was a thing where like you didn't cross that genre line of like incorporating electronic elements and kind of things that weren't organic. And now, that space is so open, and people are doing it more and more and trying themselves out,
which is cool. I think everyone should be able to explore the space given, and I think a lot of times everyone will explore and use the tools available and go too far. And then maybe the biggest challenge is reeling it back in and finding yourself and all that. Because we can use AI tools to make ourselves look better. We can use tools to make ourselves sound better and play tighter. And I mean, there's so much opportunity to make a great product, but like, music is more than a product to me. Like, there's got to be life and, like you said, soul to it. So I think it's using the stuff to your advantage, but also finding where you fit in there.
Yeah. I would highly recommend, by the way, anyone that's interested in your process and the behind the scenes of making an album, like to watch that series that you've done, the deep dive series that you've done on Voyeurist. Yeah. So tons of literally hours of I guess it's an invitation to like your brains, how you work. Is there anything that you learned making that record, Voyeurist, that you now applied with this new one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of why we brought a producer back in the room. I think we, like what I said earlier, is like we learned that having too much control, most of us in the band, we can all probably finish a song alone, and we do a lot of work outside of Underoath for other artists or for ourselves or whatever, and it's like we're all capable of taking it to the finish line, but like I said before, like the overthinking and I think that's the main thing we learned from Voyeurist is we were too hands-on. Like I think we kind of like ruined parts of it and I love that record. I stand behind the record. It's one of my favorites. But I think it would have been better if it was a little more out of our hands. Like I think we got too close.
Yeah.
And that, you get tunnel vision, so that can be scary.
Right. In the aforementioned I'm just going to call it documentary series, podcast, whatever. You mentioned that like was it like White Claw kind of night where you and Aaron kind of just vomited out all the tension, all the stuff that like wasn't really working, I guess in this collaborative process, or also maybe as humans, all these issues. Do you think it's like that's it, it's resolved, or do you think like are you stronger than ever because of having had that? Or
I think yes and no. I feel like we've never really had problems, especially me and Aaron. I think it's been different subgroups within the band, and I think it's just more awareness, like I think different people can maybe steamroll different creative processes at different times, and we're all guilty of it, like I'm guilty of it, Tim is guilty of it, Aaron's guilty of it. There's different times where you're just on a thought process and it kind of barrels over everyone and people feel unheard or unable to speak up. And I think we've all been able to at least be aware that happens, because it still happens. But I think we're more aware of like, oh shit, like, okay, I'm done now. Let's hear everyone else's ideas, So I think that definitely allowed those conversations to be easier. This time around, like when we made this record, I think everyone was just pretty open and it was way more relaxed, which was good. I think we all want the same thing, and that's at the end of the day to make the best song we can make. So I think there's different moments where we're just like letting it happen, and there's other moments where we're a little more firm in what we believe in on the song. But I think it's created a better space of just kind of like, hey, let's just see where this goes. Let's try different things. There was a couple songs on this record, the new record, where, me and Aaron would finish, and then Tim and Chris would be like, yeah, but I don't know if I like the chorus. So let's spend the day. What's your idea? Let's try another one. And then we'd give it all a shot. So before, that was a lot harder to do, especially when you're in control of it and you're like producing it yourself. And it seems like it's easier when there was a guy in the room that was just like, okay, cool, today's gonna be that day where we do that on this song and this song. Let's try a few different choruses, see if it scratches the itch for anyone. And 9 times out of 10, it would always land back on the original one, because normally your gut instinct is pretty much the right one. Like once we got to the point where like that's the fucking chorus, that is so sick, and everyone's excited. And then a few days later, someone's like, well, I don't know if I like it. Maybe we should try something else. We try it. And we'd spend a day, and then we're like, where do we land? We got them all done. We'd finish them all out, and we'd listen. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to go back to the original, and like that's why it's the good one, and that's why. And it's good that we did that exercise to see. But there is the 1 in 10 chance it's like, oh shit, we discovered something better here, which is the whole point of doing that. So,
you know what? Like preparing this interview, I was like, this band is so fucking complex. Like, I don't even know where to start with my questions. But yeah, I think people just have to watch some of the behind the scenes to I'm not going to ask you those questions because it's going to take 500 hours to unravel.
We've had a long journey.
Yeah,
We're all pretty happy and chill now, though, so it's pretty easy going in the Underoath camp nowadays. Even though our keyboard player isn't here right now.
Oh yeah, he had to drop out or drop off
of this tour. Yeah, just this tour though.
Yeah,
it's not like any sign of the future. We're not on bad terms. It's just he couldn't make this. This was kind of almost last minute, and it was not supposed to happen. And then festival offers came in, and then. Yeah, so lots of different moving parts here, but we're here. You know.
You are, yes. You know what? Okay. I'm just gonna say it. You have confirmed that it is an actual Lord of the Rings reference, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's dangerous was walking out your front door. Yeah.
There you go. Because I read it. I read it on Reddit.
Someone asked
no pun intended.
me. We were talking about different things I'm fans of, and they asked if there was any nods to that, and I was like, no, but there is a Lord of the Rings reference on Chasing Safety, and I honestly I haven't watched those movies in forever, but at that time we were like obsessed with those movies. Dude,
talking about obsessed, it is the reason I went and lived in New Zealand for a bit, and I went to all of the locations. Really? Have you done the whole
We've been to New Zealand twice. I don't think we've done all that, but I think we've seen maybe one or two places. But
okay. But so in essence, you're not a huge you're not nerding out big time. It was just a thing
anymore.
That worked.
Yeah.
Back when you wrote the song, or
I think at that time we were really into that, and that phrase always stuck out in my mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, that'd be a cool song name. And this is the era too where song names had nothing to do with songs. Everyone had these 2 or 3 long sentences.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yes.
Just
absolutely.
A cool title.
Shame because I was like, oh, maybe Spencer's my guy. Maybe we can geek out on some Lord of the Rings shit. But
I honestly haven't watched those movies
in
a long time.
Okay, man.
But we were fans at one point, yeah. And I'm not dogging the movies. It's just been a long time, and they're also long.
That is true. Yes, that's a good yes. And you have to watch the extended versions if you're gonna watch them, because if not, what even is the point? Okay, then last question. You've done a really I really like Matt Cutshall. I think he's hilarious. Emo's Not Dead little video thing. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about, and were you involved in developing ideas for it too?
So Matt and me and Matt became buddies during COVID, and I worked on that song "Tommy's Face" with him. And I didn't I was aware of some of his videos, but he wasn't to the point where he's at now, where he's blown up, and and he's just the sweetest, most sincere, well-deserving of every success he has and the things in his future. He's one of those guys that you meet and you're just you want good things for him. And hopefully we all want that for everyone. But you know what I mean? He's just so solid, and you're like, man, I love that. Everyone that meets him is loves him, because he's just a good dude. Him and his wife both are awesome, and they're just good people. So we've remained in contact, and we talk all the time. And then we did that first cruise that he had as one of the headliners, and it was awesome. And then this last year, me and Aaron were supposed to be surprise guests, acoustic, and going on the cruise. And last minute, he sent me a text. He's like, do you think Underoath could be one of the headliners again? Which we weren't supposed to. You're not supposed to do those things like that 2 years in a row. Okay. We won't do Rock am Ring again next year. It would be at least another year from then. You don't typically do things 2 years in a row. So we stepped up and filled in last minute too. And it was we had to throw it all together. So we have a really good relationship. And he actually came to us. We were in the studio. In that video, the area you see is where we made the record.
Right.
So that's us in the studio, and he came out the last week or so of us doing, and he had this whole script, and they had all this stuff planned out for us. It was
that was all his.
Thing. Yeah, him and his team. Yeah, okay. We ad-libbed a little bit, but mostly, that's just Matt and his team. They're just. And it's so bad. We're so bad at acting that it's almost good. It's great. It's a good watch.
It is a good watch, and I think you're really great actors, and I'd like to see a part 2, you know, of that thing, because, yeah.
We're terrible actors, but it was great. Matt, on the other hand, is always fun to watch.
So for tonight, last one, I said this was the last question. How does the voting work for fans for the bonus songs?
The voting is actually a U.S. thing only.
Is a U.S. thing?
It's a U.S. thing for that tour.
Okay.
So this we're playing They're Only Chasing Safety, and we're like 5 or 6 more songs, because in America we are really hands-on with everything. Mm-hmm. The shows are a lot bigger in America than they are in Europe for us, and we've got, just because we're from, we know a lot of the promoters, and our agents, it really, we knew how to run the system. So in America, you'll get a text or an email, and there'll be a QR code or something at the show, and you'll have X amount of votes. Let's say we're doing 5 or 6 songs in the encore. You can vote for whatever song, but you can only vote for each song once. But it's everything that's come out since They're Only Chasing Safety. And once you vote for it, it goes into, and we'll get it before the show starts. And whatever songs have the most votes are the ones we're playing. But because we are not as connected over here with promoters and how a system like that would work, I mean, it's kind of
right. People bring paper tickets to shows still. So
yeah, it's a little easier for us to have our finger on it in America, to where we know how it's going to go and it's not going to be a disaster.
Got it.
And then this tour coming later, even though it's earlier, like we were working on the U.S. tour before we were working on this one, so we were like way. And then when this one came, like we should do it. It's a great time to do it. We want to bring it to, Europe and the UK. But we didn't have time to set things up the way we did in America. Yeah. So, unfortunately, the fan-voted set is for the North America part only.
Got it. Okay.
And, yeah. So.
But Europe is still in for a treat.
Yeah, we're still playing all of Chasing Safety and a bunch of other, fan favorites. It'll be a fun night. We'll make it dope for everyone for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. This venue is very sweaty. It gets very sweaty. So just be prepared.
Should be a good time.
Have an awesome show tonight. Thank you for doing this.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Cheers.